Welcome. This is Dr. David D. Shine, and this is In the News for Saving America. China's Air Force has made the largest ever incursion into Taiwan airspace recently. They did it to celebrate the takeover of mainland China by their violent communist takeover. Sometimes they like to portray it in more polite terms, but it was a terrorist takeover of the country. The legitimate government of mainland China moved over to Taiwan. And as far as I'm concerned, they are still the legitimate government of China. And I will not be changing that position. And I think the United States government made some critical errors in the past to give the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, the impression that we were okay with them occupying mainland China, because I, as an American citizen and as a patriot, am not. 38 Chinese aircraft in 2 waves flew over Taiwan on October 1st. Taiwan fortunately scrambled some jets. There were no military incursions or attacks. Nobody fired at anybody. But I wonder how much longer this will go on. A quote from the Taiwan premier: "China has been wantonly engaged in military aggression, damaging regional peace." That is from the premier of Taiwan. This is a serious situation, and I have heard no reasonable reaction from the Biden administration. Our second piece for In the News this week is Lawrence Kudlow, who was a finance guru for the Bush administration and has come back into media these days. He's on Fox, I think. And he's called the proposed Biden budget the road to serfdom, as in medieval times when we had kings and most of us were just peasants who served the royalty. Biden keeps saying, oh, the rich need to pay their fair share. And that clown AOC went to a $35,000 a person charity event in New York City with a white dress that said, "Tax the rich." What on earth is this about? Well, let's talk about the real numbers, since the squad and the other morons don't seem to know what the real numbers are. According to IRS data from 2018, the most recent numbers available, the top 1% of taxpayers paid $616 billion, which is 40% of all the income taxes paid. The top 1% pays 40% of all income taxes. The top 1% earned 21% of the income, but paid 40% of the income tax, meaning they've paid twice their fair share. Yeah, think about that. The entire bottom half taxpayers who earned 11.6% of the income paid 2.9% of their income tax, a fraction. 6 in 10 households receive more in direct government benefits than they pay in federal taxes. Per Kudlow, the idea propagated by Biden that the top earners don't pay their fair share is a flat out lie. Not that the Biden administration is any stranger to lying, since they seem to do it on a multiple basis every day these days. And here's some more facts. U.S. tax system is essentially dependent on American business. American businesses pay or remit 93% of the nation's taxes. Pretty interesting stuff. And talking about failed bureaucracies, homeschooling is growing by leaps and bounds. Homeschooling numbers have increased over 300% in the last 2 years, according to federal government data. Spike does not include Americans engaged in virtual learning through a public or private school program due to COVID. What we're talking about are full-time homeschoolers. In October 2020, 11% of the 20 to 23 million US households reported being full-time homeschoolers without any enrollment in a public or private school. Besides Alaska, which reported 27.5% of households in full-time homeschool, Oklahoma led all states at 20%, Florida 18, Vermont 17, Georgia 16, Tennessee and Arizona at 13. Folks, the reason I bring this story up is because, as you know, one of my concerns is the utter failure of American bureaucracy. And I think what we're seeing here by the mass movement towards homeschooling is that people understand that the bureaucracy has so failed our education system that responsible parents no longer trust it. This is Dr. David D. Shine. Thank you for joining us for In the News on Saving America.